In this video, I will show you in a clear way how you can make a faded slideshow with navigation buttons using ActionScript 3. The first step is to choose the images to be shown and to put them in a separate directory in order to import them into Flash. In this example, we will use 3 images. All images must have the same dimensions in order to be properly shown. In our case, the image's dimensions are 1280 by 720. The second step is to declare the size of the canvas in Flash. In this case, it will be 1280 by 720. The third step is to import the selected images into the Flash library. The fourth step is to define the duration of the images in the timeline measured by frames per second. In our case, the images will have a duration of 100 frames per second plus 20 frames per second for the fading period. In order to avoid confusion and common mistakes, we highly recommend to make a draft showing the duration periods before declaring the imaging and fading sections in Flash. The next step is simply to drag the images from the library into the canvas section and to center them in the canvas. We must create a new layer for each image. Next, we must declare the exposition sections for each image in the timeline, and we must insert a keyframe at the end of each section. We must click on the first frame of the second image until a little white rectangle appears at the bottom, and then we must drag the line to the right to reduce the size of the layer. And then we must insert another keyframe so that the overlapping period between image 1 and image 2 is clearly defined in the timeline. And now, in order to establish the fading period, we must click on the middle of the fading sections of layer 2, which is the one to be faded, and we must insert a classic tween. Then we must click in the first frame of the fading section in layer 2, and then we must click on the image inside the canvas so we can access the alpha color variant, which we must set to 0. We can now test the fading effect by simply displacing the head back and forth over the fading section. And we can now follow the same procedure for layers 2 and 3. We must now proceed to the insertion of the navigation buttons. For this purpose, we will create a new layer, which we will call Actions. And then we will input the buttons right and left into the canvas. Next, we will convert the navigation buttons into symbols, and we will give them a name, in this case, left and right. We must also declare these names in the Properties window. And now we are ready to test the video. We let the video run, and then we can test our navigation buttons by clicking on them and watching that we are obtaining the desired results. And the last thing we need to do is to select our favorite publishing methods, and then we are done. We hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you consider that it will be useful for you, please share it with your friends and do not fail to give us a like. Stay well, friends.